Are you a CPA exam student trying to pass the exams? Do you struggle with trying to answer multiple choice questions quickly? If you find yourself spending 4, 5, or 6 minutes on a problem, hopefully I can help you answer these questions quicker. It's really easy to get hung up on the multiple choice questions and spend a lot of time on them, especially with the amount of information. Plus, just the pressure of taking the test and being in the exam center. It can be really easy to pour too much time in and then get to the end of your exam and run out. And you might be seeing this in your practice problems, whether you're on Becker or any of the other study programs. And one of the tips that I got that helped me tremendously to speed up the timing on my multiple choice questions and the testlets was to read the question first. Okay, so to dive into this, whenever you're presented with a multiple choice question, sometimes you have a paragraph or 2 paragraphs, and you've probably seen this in your practice yourself. You're given so much information to try to parse through, and at the end of the day, some of it isn't even relevant. The test writers love to put in extra information that you're not going to need, that they want you to be able to throw away information that's irrelevant and pick out the key details that are important. And that's really one of the strengths of this exam. They want you to be able to use that judgment to quickly identify essential information. But it can make it really easy to spend too much time on multiple choice questions. So again, my tip, and we'll go through an example here, is to find the question in the multiple choice prompt or the paragraph first. Look for that question mark or quickly scan and look for what the problem's asking you. Once you find that question, it's really easy to go through the information and read it afterwards, and you can quickly determine which parts of the question are important and which ones you're going to need and which data or which information you can throw away. And this will save you so much time. When you read through the entire prompt first and go through all the given information, it's like trying to absorb everything all at once. You're trying to make every detail stick in your head, and you're trying to make sense of what's going on. But until you know what the question's asking you, you really can't take in any of that information and even begin to find an answer. So we'll go through a quick example here, and this example is exaggerated, but I'm sure once you put it into practice, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So let's take a look at this example problem that I wrote here. You immediately on opening it see that, we've got 7, 8, 9, 10 lines of text here. There's lots of numbers. It just kind of looks intimidating, right? Like you click the next on your screen to go to the next question, you see this and you kind of like take a breath and you're like, oh my goodness, okay. And it can be really easy to read through all this and just get stuck. And so let's try it that way. We start reading. Mark and Susan file their taxes as married filing joint. Mark works a full-time job as a professor at a local university and received a tax year 2022 W-2 from his employer for the year with federal taxable income of $100,000. Mark also had $10,000 in capital gains from 2022. Susan runs her own business as a florist and has revenues of $77,000 before expense. Expenses for Susan in 2022 totaled $35,000 and are made up of the following: $5,000 wages paid to a part-time employee, $15,000 rent for her store, and $15,000 for purchases of flowers from a regional flower distributor. Susan paid estimated taxes totaling $3,500 during 2022. Mark and Susan have a child named Becky who is 5 years old. And so before I read the question, if you just read through all of that, there is so much information there. We couldn't even possibly reading through that. Like I'm taking in like, okay, he's got taxable income, he's got capital gains, his wife, Susan, runs a business, so and paid estimated taxes too. There's lots of moving parts there. And until I read the question, I have no idea even what to do with any of that information. So the last sentence here is our question. You can usually pick it out in your test or in your practice by looking for the question mark or just starting at the very last sentence of the paragraph. You can usually find the question very quickly that way. And here it says, before applying income limitations, what is the maximum amount of credit allowed for the child tax credit in 2022? So they're not even having us apply the income limitation or for a phase out or anything like that at all. It simply wants to know what's the maximum amount of the child tax credit allowed in 2022. And if you've been doing your studying and doing your reading, or if you're familiar with those, you'd easily know that the answer is D, $2,000. That's the maximum amount that you can get for the child tax credit in 2022. It can get phased out with income, but this is discrediting that. And so this is, again, a very exaggerated example, but if you came and read that question first, you would quickly be able to know, okay, the tax credit is $2,000. And then, just to make sure there's no information that would change your answer or something that would throw you off, then we can quickly read through back at the top. But we know that that doesn't really add any other value. So again, it's an exaggerated example, but if you start by reading the question at the bottom and then read the rest of the prompt or the information that they give you, it will give you a good frame of reference for how to answer the question and what information is important and what information isn't important. So again, I'll say one more time, my best tip for you for multiple choice questions, if you struggle with time, if you struggle to get through multiple choice questions quickly, please find that question in the multiple choice question and read it first. Look for that question, find out what you're trying to answer, and then go back and read through your given information. Even if you do need to do a calculation, or if you have to decide on, have to make some like critical decisions towards the answer, even if you have to do that, reading that question first will give you a huge boost in time and make it so much quicker to find that answer. If you thought this tip was helpful, please leave a comment down below. If you have other tips that you found while studying or that you've been passed on to you, please leave them in the comment section below. I went through the CPA exams myself, and I know how tiresome it is. I know the pressure. I know all the long nights of studying, of taking these exams. And that's why I love tutoring CPA exam students. I've been a tutor for 7 years. I've been tutoring CPA exam students since 2021. I know how you feel. I know where you've been. So again, please leave a comment if this helped you, if you have other tips. If you have a specific question on any content or a specific area of the exam you're struggling on, please comment below. Send me a message, send me an email. I'd be happy to make a video and post it so you and that others can get some benefit from. Thanks for watching this video. My name is JP Thomas. I'm a CPA here in Indiana. And please subscribe to the channel if you're interested in more content on the CPA exam.